At 4ZZZ, we acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we broadcast. We pay our respects to the elders past, present and emerging of the Turrbal and Jagera people. We acknowledge that their sovereignty over this land was never ceded.
And we stand in solidarity with them.
You're listening to Transmission on 4ZZZ, amplifying the trans and gender non-conforming voices of Brisbane and beyond.
Good morning, Yanjin. You're listening to Transmission on 4ZZZ. Thank you so much to Jack and Lucy from Zguys for another 3 hours of power on your Tuesday morning. I mean, nothing gets better than that. Also managed to take a photo of both Jack and Lucy earlier, imitating Ian and Adele from Bright in the Corners. So if you like social media, you should jump on and check out Zguys so you can see this excellent mimicry from this morning. But Transmission, all about amplifying the voices of the trans and gender non-conforming people of Mianjin and beyond. My name is Ez. I use he, him pronouns, and it is on the tail end of Radiothon here at 4ZZZ. And a special thanks to Nell from New Farm and Brittany from Camp Hill for subscribing. Thank you for keeping community radio alive. We are on the tail end, but there are some prizes still to be won. So keep subscribing and support community radio. It's the greatest place in the world. Really, really is. As per usual, on on Transmissions 4ZZZ, we've got the week in community events and news. So events that are up and coming. Q Night at Quiver, which is this Saturday, August 26th from 6 p.m. till quite late in Fortitude Valley, Wynn Lane. It's the usual monthly meetup. People come together, you get to meet and greet, you get to sort of mingle in a very safe and inviting environment. There's non-alcoholic beverages, there's alcoholic beverages, there's music, there's dancing, there's mingling. It's all queer, it's all trans-friendly, and it's all very safe, and it's just a really nice vibe. Holly and Dara, who run Quiver, are just absolutely beautiful, incredible people. So if you're looking for something to do on Saturday from 6 p.m, yeah, go down to Quiver, go to Wynn Lane, chill out, relax. It's $5 for early bird and $10 on the door. This is an 18+ event. Also, this Saturday from 7:30 p.m, August 26th, is at Tomcat, is Cry Club Spite Will Save Me album tour, which I'm so keen to go. Yeah, Australian queer bubblegum pop duo Cry Club enter their villain era with their electric sophomore album Spite Will Save Me out, which comes out July 2023. I'm guessing it's out. The tight 10 tracks further refine their talent for tuning frustrations and anger at social issues into anthemic trash-alongs, and proving they're one of Australia's most vital, exciting bands is so true. They really are. It's going to be an explosive live act. Cry Club are eager to play Spite Will Save Me to fans, creating environments where fans can crash through their feelings and embrace their inner emo. So join the Cry Club this Saturday, August 26th, 7 p.m. at Tomcat. I don't actually think I've been to Tomcat, so I'm quite keen to check out the venue as well. And I also, because I spent a lot of time on Instagram, saw that Mountain Adir are opening for Cry Club. So if you want to check them out too, this is your night to do it. Yeah, lots of things going on. It's going to be a fun Saturday. Also, so the week in community news, trigger warning, this one kind of sucks. I'm reading here from NPR News. World Chess just place restrictions on both trans women and trans men. That's right. Apparently, your gender and chess, really, it's a thing. The International Chess Federation, also known as FIDE, will effectively stop allowing transgender women from participating in women's competitions until further analysis can be made, which could take up to 2 years. The organization will also remove some titles won by players who won in women's categories and later transitioned to men. It will also remove some titles won by transgender men. The new policies are slated to go into effect, I believe, actually came into effect yesterday. FIDE recognises that this is an evolving issue for chess and that besides technical regulations on transgender regulations, further policy may need to be evolved in the future in line with research evidence, the Federation wrote in a statement. I don't think FIDE understands what research is. Over the past few days, several chess federations have come out against the new changes, including the US and Germany. If a person is legally recognized as a woman, it is incomprehensible to us why still FIDE wants to check why it needs 2 years to do this. Why does it need 2 years to do this? The National Centre for Transgender Equality said the new guidelines were and are insulting to all women and the game itself. It assumes that cis women couldn't be competitive against cis men and relies on ignorant anti-trans ideas. The new regulations will make trans chess players all over the world face a horrible dilemma, which is transition or quit chess. And that was a quote from professional chess player Yosha Iglesias. So yeah, that's some tragic news for chess players. All people who play chess, it is tragic news. So yeah, that's rough. We'll keep an eye on that and see if that changes, and what ends up happening. But yeah, that's crap.
QLife is Australia's first nationally oriented counselling and referral service for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender and intersex or LGBTI people. QLife provides peer-supported telephone and web-based services to diverse people of all ages. They help callers with a range of issues relating to sexuality and gender, including coming out, as well as more general issues such as relationship problems. So remember, you can call the QLife line daily from 5:30pm till 10:30pm on 1800 184 527. And for online chat and support, go to qlife.org.au.
You're listening to Transmission on 4ZZZ. My name is Ez and I use he, him pronouns, and I am joined in studio by a very special guest. Hi.
Thank you, I feel very special.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, my darlings. My name is Seán Dowling. My pronouns are she, her. And yeah, I'm on the radio today, which is a wild experience.
No reason at all, just
hanging out. Well,
just found a random trans person like you said, just
turned up in the studio. The worst thing about this, for anyone who knows me, I speak with my hands and I wave them around. So sitting here on radio, restraining myself from moving too much is like suddenly
you can
terrifying.
wave your arms around, you just can't smack the mic.
You're going to hear.
I mean, you could smack the mic, it just might be loud. There's no rules. They let volunteers in here, we do what we like.
It's actually quite nice.
Yes, it is. So you're here to chat about a Brisbane Festival event, or theatre production. Unconditional. What is this about?
Okay, so, God, it's about so much. But this is a mass media format, so I've got to be punchy and pithy, right?
Something like that.
So, Unconditional is a play that was commissioned by Playlab, local theatre makers, and it is a play about a gay couple, where one of them decides to transition without telling their partner. So I guess you can get a sense of where the drama comes from.
Oh, wow. Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's a play that's on as part of Brisbane Festival. It's going to be on at the Powerhouse week after next. I think it starts previewing on the 30th. So yeah, we're deep in rehearsals at the moment for it.
Oh, wow, you're in the thick of it.
Yeah. And full-time rehearsals as well. I've put my job on hold for the most part.
Wow.
9 to 5 with this.
But that's fun, right? Like, you're enjoying me, like, yeah, I got to take work off to play theatre.
It is a dream come true, like without a doubt, a childhood dream come true.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh yeah, and everyone's lovely. And I'm the least experienced person in the room. Like, I'm the only trans person in the room, but I'm the least experienced in the room of like being a professional performer.
How do you find that? Is everyone very helpful with help, like guiding you through things?
My God, they are wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, top to bottom.
All sarcastic.
Yeah, wonderful, and all very queer.
Oh, that's what you want.
Yeah. Deliberately so. The people behind this at Playlab, Ian Lawson and the like, chose performers, writers who were queer. Myself and Cameron Hurry, the other writer and performer, the director, and all the production staff. They're very gay.
Well, that helps.
So it really does help.
Yeah. I like the little punchy line here, which is love never dies, it just transforms.
Yeah, it's very nice, actually.
Yeah.
I quite like that tagline.
I mean, it's going to be interesting because, I mean, if you're telling a story about a gay couple, and one of them transitions, I mean, in secret seems a little risque, but
Very. I am not suggesting that the show absolutely details how that is not a nice thing to do
is
with
this
your
based
partner.
off of a true story or true stories or?
There is a significant amount of myself and my story and Cameron, the other writer, both of our stories in it, and the experiences of coming out, coming to terms with who you are, managing the impact of that on various relationships, from partners to family, parents, etc., etc. So it is a very personal story, but no, I did not hide it from my partner and then say, "Surprise, honey, I've been on the titty sprinkles for the last 2 years."
Just suddenly come in with double D's and it's an instant overnight.
That'd be great. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. I play Coconuts by Kim Petras on this show enough.
Oh, Kim, I love you so much.
So, how long does the play go for?
It's a 90-minute play, no interval, super punchy. I mean, look, we're all of the opinion that live performance, if it's more than 90 minutes,
Well, I want a pee break.
Yeah, exactly. the way modern media is now consumed, it's unfair, I think, to ask for audience to sit for 3 hours.
I can't believe they do that with film. Sorry, I was raging about that the other day, being like, this is a 3-hour film.
I loved Oppenheimer, but it needed a meal break.
Yeah, same with Barbie. I was like, I want to go to the toilet, and I'm going to miss something in order for this to happen now.
But yeah, no, it's a punchy show, and punchy in the time frame, and punchy in the things that get said. There is definitely some provocative language in it. Mm-hmm. Dear listeners, be warned: if you come along, you will hear some explicit descriptions of sex and sexual function and genitals and the ins and outs. Wow, that's a hell of a pun to say on the radio. The ins and outs of...
I don't have a little jingle. I should go get a jingle.
The ins and outs of sex and sexuality in regards to, navigating a trans body, a newly transitioning body, I should say, rather.
And that sort of, is there a lot of rediscovery of self? And there's something I was telling someone recently about how, when was the moment that you realized that your body was your own?
Oh, God, yes.
And as a trans person, it's when I gave myself permission to transition was probably the most defining moment in terms of me recognizing that this body is mine.
I was literally just saying to someone the other day about the idea of well, when did you know? And it's the question of I've always known, but I also don't know. I will never have 100% certainty. I'm certain enough to transition. I mean, you're looking at me right now, but this body being observed by others and that defining it in a lot of ways, and looking back and seeing my life and things growing up where I'm like, oh God, I was so trans and I had no fucking clue.
Yeah. Again, you cringe. You're like, oh my God,
I had no idea, and it was so obvious. And then other things where you're living for a long time and knowing consciously the thought, I wish I was born in a different body. But that's still not equating to, I am trans, I should transition. So much of the discourse is around transness only exists when a person is actively making a change.
Yeah, yes. Also,
but I didn't become trans when I started taking the Fem-Ms.
Yeah.
I've been
well
trans
before that.
the whole time. It's just the way that so much of the language doesn't quite articulate it all. And this is all stuff that's discussed in the show as well. This is all sort of discourse around how much of this is me, or how much is this is a person changing who they are versus how much it is shedding things that they never really were in the first place.
Yeah. So like a chameleon, or no, not like a chameleon. Like a snake shedding your skin,
Yes, I am just like a snake shedding its skin.
Yeah, and you're revealing, fresh glistening colours underneath, and taking on kind of a different form.
Rebirth
in a way.
And renewal is obviously a big part of it.
Yeah. Metamorphosis.
So the show is very much. Look, I mean, while it is explicitly about the trans experience, it aims to frame it in a way that cisgendered folks can easily understand, because it is a story about transition told against the backdrop of a relationship in trouble. And there is one thing that everybody knows what is like is to have a relationship in trouble. You know, like 60% of marriages end in divorce. You know, and a hell of a lot more probably should. And
if you haven't lived it yourself, you know someone who has. Yeah.
And so our hope, myself and Cameron and Ian Lawson, the dramaturg, our hope was that a cisgendered woman could sit there and see themselves in the trans character and go like, oh fuck, I know what that's like.
Yeah.
Or a cis man could sit there and be like, oh shit, I see some of myself in that shitty behaviour.
It's interesting too. I mean, so you'd say that Unconditional will be also a little educational.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a little bit of there's a little bit of you can't ask that in it, where there are moments in it where the trans character explicitly describes the way that and kind of how transitioning is working for them and what it is like and how it is not a horror. It is not a David Cronenberg-esque body metamorphosis of, you know, disgust. It's beautiful. It's lovely. It's like...
It's joy.
Yeah. In fact, there's moments during it where we talk about, you know, it's not explicit in the text, but in the rehearsal room, talking with the director Brian Lucas, who is magnificent, about how just the stage direction of like how to play this moment, and describing it as the sun rises in her, and it feeling like that, the sun rising within you.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful.
And hopefully I do a sufficient job in performance for people to go, yep, the sun's rising in that bitch. But like...
I found my episode title, everyone.
The sun is rising in that bitch.
There we go. Transmission. Done it again. So, I mean, this sounds absolutely epic. When can we see it? Where?
So we preview on the 30th and 31st of August, and then from the 1st to the 9th it'll continue on. I think there's about 10, 11 performances, some matinees. There's also signed performances, which I'm super excited about, having Auslan interpreters in the room. My background with theatre has mostly been in the side of things of theatre organisations, not necessarily on stage, and I've always been absolutely delighted in seeing signed performances. There's such joy in the room.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
For that, so we will be having signed performances as well. So spread the word, please, people.
Spread the word.
Yeah. So there's 10, 11 shows. It'll run from the 30th to the 9th, I believe, and look, it's a fucking riot. It's funny and it's sad.
It's great. Do it.
Warning. The maybe some nudity. Still figuring that out. But my objective is to make you cry during this show. Just want to warn you. I might, you know, it is. There is some big feels and big emotions in it, and we are doing. We're really trying to handle all of that with care. You know.
Yeah, I'm so keen. Now I'm gonna have to like figure out my schedule so I can come.
Babes, do it.
I will.
4ZZZ's been making radio against the machine since 1975.
This radiothon, we'd like to thank all the like-minded folks who've joined with us in making waves.
If you're late to the party, don't worry, there's still time to subscribe.
Head to 4ZZZ.org.au/support to subscribe, make a donation, or grab some merch.
There are still some epic prizes to go in the draw for.
And of course, that warm inner glow we all get from subscribing to 4ZZZ.
Listen to Transmission on 4ZZZ. My name is Ez. I use he, him pronouns.
My name is Sean. I use she, her pronouns.
Woo! And we're two trans people hanging out. That's it. That's pretty much it. That's this whole show. Trans people hanging out.
I always have that feeling of, you know that joke about like, are you telling me that a shrimp fried this rice? You know that? And so every time I hear the word transport, I'm like, are you telling me this port is trans? And so I'm like...
Translate needs to be a dating app.
Yeah. And I'm like, are you telling me this mission is trans? And I'm like, yes, our mission absolutely is a trans mission. Is the trans agenda.
One day I could be a transparent. So many damn jokes.
Trans?
Trans. So yeah, Sean and I have been chatting about Unconditional, which is a play coming to you soon, August 30th. I'm going to chuck a link up on the Transmission socials at Trans Radio with a Z. Check it out. Buy a ticket. Go along. It will be educational and you'll cry. It's great. A whole heap of things.
You'll be deeply upset and you'll laugh your ass off.
Yeah.
I mean...
What more do you want?
I mean, yeah.
That's everything I want in theatre.
Yeah, and we won't make you sit there for 3 hours.
No, there's no intermission. Just don't smash some cocktails before you
no,
get in.
I think there's even a lockout. It's not the sort of show that you want to kind of walk in late on. That'd be awkward.
Especially if there's like nudity, like you had said. Oh, hello.
Yeah. That's
Getting your money's worth.
That's an interesting idea.
I did talk at the beginning of transmission today. Some news. Trigger warning. I'm bringing it back up again. Trans people are banned from chess because apparently that's necessary. And Sean and I wanted to chat about that.
Yeah, we were talking about that because I find the whole thing a level of absurd.
It's so absurd.
And the level of
how threatened are men?
Disrespect. It's like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, I mean, the implication that, oh, I'm sorry, your inadequate lady brain can't.
Yeah, really.
Compete. And that a strong masculine brain is better at chess than a weak lady brain is fucking.
It's weird.
I mean, I don't know how they could have insulted more people.
Yeah, they seem to have insulted everyone. I find it insulting. I don't know, this is also like the main competitions that it's banning. Apparently you can, as a trans person, play social kickabout chess, I guess. Just not in the competitive realm. And I don't know about you, but if I'm like the best in the world as an individual at a particular thing, I would want the highest competition that I can get, and I don't care who that is. I want to prove that I'm the best because I'm the best, full stop, regardless of any other factor. Yeah. So if you're that kind of competitive, which I imagine you would be at an elite level of chess, why would you discriminate on your opponent? I don't know. That's just
especially
strange.
with a sport.
I would argue that if you had a physical disability, that you should also not be able to, if we're going off of the same regulations.
By their metric.
By their metric, it should be the same
metric.
thing.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
And if you are playing at that elite level, then it is, and as an activity, chess is such an individualistic expression of a person's excellence.
Yeah.
Right? It's not a team sport. You don't get advice. You don't get breaks to talk to a coach. It is you and the person across the table from you.
And every strategy you've ever repetitively memorized in your head.
It's funny because I have a background in roller derby.
Oh, what? That's awesome.
Trans person involved in roller derby?
Never happened.
like how controversial. Florals in springtime. And I was, when I was in playing roller derby and officiating roller derby, and I was heavily involved in a lot of executive committees on, Northern Brisbane Rollers and Brisbane City Rollers and all that sort of stuff. And the question of transgender players, assigned male at birth players who have transitioned and are playing in a female, I'm doing air quotes, sport, and how that was to be navigated, and being present for sporting organisations, having those discussions with their membership. And ultimately, everyone went, it doesn't fucking matter. So long as they're abiding by the rules, the rules are there for safety. And so long as they're abiding by those rules for safety, it doesn't matter if...
I don't know why it matters. I really have no idea why it matters.
So, and I'm talking about, these are conversations that happened 10 years ago, 15 years ago, long before this public discourse about we need to have a debate about, trans people in sport. And I'm like, mate, the debate got had years ago. It had long before we even started talking about it in roller derby. The debate got had in other sports, in professional sports.
Yeah, I remember when they were doing chromosome testing, which was hilarious because then people who thought one thing about their chromosomes discovered other things about their chromosomes. Hello, you're intersex.
Yeah, I love it.
It's actually how this chess thing came about in this ban is that people complained to FIDE, the International Chess Federations. They actually complained saying that they wanted restrictions. And so then they felt pressured to do something, which is even worse.
So some turf made a lot of noise.
Probably like a couple of turfs.
A couple of turfs made some noise. And then an organisation caved in because they were too afraid to take a stand.
Yeah, and then they wanted further analysis, in quotations, which could take up to 2 years.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, right. I don't know. This is such an insanely long period of time.
I love that the German Chess Federation has come out and just said,
nope.
No.
This is dumb.
No.
I thought trans people were smart.
Well, I think
I did. I'm obviously correct.
and I think there is a I'm certainly not suggesting this of all chess people, but I suppose that the strategic thinking skills, the pure strategy brain, like there is that sort of stereotype, and it isn't true because it's that would be unkind, that sitting around talking with engineers and they're like, oh, I think all we need to do is just kill everyone and then all the problems will be solved. Or that sort of like absurd,
very flippant,
taking a logical argument to an illogical place in order to find a solution. That sort of extreme disconnect from the practicalities of reality.
Yeah, it's not very good problem solving skills.
And I can imagine that a person who was very much into deep inside strategy would lose sight of the fact that it is a human being sitting across from you. It is a person who thinks and feels. You are not a robot. You're not a chess robot.
Even though they do exist.
Even though they do exist.
You can play them. Are they allowed to play? Are they on hormones? I have questions. Are they allowed to play AI?
The ultimate non-binary
exactly.
chess.
They don't really have a gender,
hang
right?
on. If it is a machine intelligence, doesn't that by definition mean it is a binary intelligence with the zero?
Oh my god! Now we have other questions, Fide. Other International Chess Fed. Pay attention.
That's right.
You should ban AI from playing chess because they don't actually have. They're like non-binary binary.
Yeah.
Isn't that confusing for you? You should ban them.
I mean, as a trans radio program...
Do some analysis.
I really think that people probably do come here for the deep cuts in programming language-based humour.
I always this is weird. This is a weird banning.
Yeah. The Venn diagram of your listeners, I'm pretty sure there's a few computer programmers out there. Yes, they might be wearing long thigh socks, but they're still computer programmers.
We had a guest on this show, Reverend Selena McMahon from the church out in Ipswich. She is hilarious, and she said that every trans woman was once an IT man. And I love that so much.
Yes.
And I'm like, I'm not going to look at men in IT now and just anyway, how you doing, Egg?
That's right. It's the are you an IT trans or are you a industrial noise music trans?
Yeah. Are you Clockwork Orange, synth trans? You can only pick. Everybody gets one.
Yeah, all right. Only one.
Amplifying the voices of the trans and gender non-conforming community of Meanjin, Brisbane, and beyond.
Transmission on 4ZZZ brings you the latest in trans community news, music, and events.
Every Tuesday from 9 a.m. till 10 a.m.
Join our team of hosts for an hour of celebrating the unique perspectives of the trans community.
Transmission, Tuesday mornings from 9 a.m. till 10 a.m. on 4ZZZ. You've actually tuned in right at the end of Transmission. Great timing. Thank you so much, Sean, for coming in.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much. And thank you, everybody, for listening for me ramble on. The show that we're doing is called Unconditional. It's from the 30th of August to the 9th of September. It's on at the Powerhouse as part of Brisbane Festival. Please come along. It'd be lovely to see you there. It'd be lovely for you to see me ugly cry on stage.
Do it! At least for that. Jeez. All right, okay, we're out of here. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Thank you so much for listening to Transmission. See you next Tuesday, 9 to 10 a.m. on 4ZZZ.